Have you ever been deep into a really technical chat with an AI? Maybe you've uploaded a whole bunch of documents, and then just suddenly it completely forgets what you told it to do, like the core instructions.
Oh, yeah. You spend maybe the first hour giving it all this crucial context, uploading brand guides, explaining formatting, and then bam, mid-sentence, it just loses the plot. Starts acting like its default generic self again.
Exactly. That's that moment. The AI's short-term memory, its context window, just hits the wall, that critical instruction set, pushed right off the edge.
So today, we're diving deep into, well, the solution that seems to fundamentally solve this. Think of them as portable, specialized AI memory sticks.
Welcome to the deep dive.
Yeah.
Our topic is Anthropic's honestly game-changing feature, Claude Skills. We're looking at a guide that really walks us through using these tools like, as you said, a flash drive for AI knowledge, reusable, precise knowledge. Right. So we're going to cover what these skills actually are, why they feel like a missing link in AI automation. And we'll get into the technical why, like how they save that really valuable context space. Then we'll jump straight into the how-to, and there's a neat AI cheat code for creating your own we need to talk about. Plus 3 really high-impact examples you could probably use today.
The mission here is to give you the structure, the clarity you need to, stop dealing with those flaky, inconsistent AI outputs and start building a truly reliable digital workforce.
Okay, let's unpack this. Skills seem designed to be that perfect middle ground solution. Because historically, if you needed specialized tasks done, you were kind of stuck between two extremes, right? Both pretty frustrating.
That's right, yeah. On one side, you had the giant messy prompt, like pasting 5,000 words manually every single time, which is just tedious and honestly super error-prone.
And the other extreme, scaling way, way up to these complex, almost industrial solutions, like MCP servers.
Right, let's define that jargon quick. MCP servers, meta-context processing servers, think full-blown external software systems. They connect Claude to live APIs, maybe hook into real-time databases. Super powerful, yes, but let's be honest, they're clunky. Need deep developer expertise, not for everyday tasks.
Okay, so where do skills fit in then?
They are these reusable, specialized, call them micro workflows. They bridge that gap perfectly. Kind of like Alexa skills, but for your specific business process, It's all about portability and focused, repeatable automation.
And they deal with the limits of other ways we try to give AI context, right? Not just messy prompts, but custom instructions and projects too.
Exactly. Custom instructions are good for overall tone. Projects let you link big documents, but all 3 methods, the giant prompt, the custom instruction, the project file, they kind of suffer the same problem. They load permanently into the context.
And getting to them seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah, surprisingly easy. You just hit the settings icon, go to capabilities, then experimental, and toggle on skills preview. Anthropic even includes some built-in examples. There's an artifacts builder for coding, I think, and a brand guideline skill, which is useful for keeping voice consistent.
Okay, and using one, how does that work in the chat?
Super simple. You just invoke it by name, like tagging someone in a doc. You just type something like, okay, using the meeting minutes skill, analyze this transcript.
The strategic implication here feels big. How significant is this step, really, towards building AI assistants that are actually consistent, reliable, that don't suffer from that memory wipe?
Oh, it's fundamental. It shifts AI building away from these clunky hit-or-miss setups towards truly reliable, predictable outputs for recurring tasks. What's really cool here, though, is the technical foundation. This is where the engineering is pretty smart, because it tackles that core computational problem of LLMs head-on.
Okay, I'm still trying to fully wrap my head around how a simple markdown file can run in parallel without using up that main context window. Can you walk us through that mechanism again? How does that actually work?
Absolutely. So skills are basically structured markdown styles, right? .ND files. When you call a skill, Claude automatically pulls in the specific instructions from that file. But the key insight, the clever part, is those instructions run in parallel, almost like a little subroutine, separate from the main conversation thread.
Okay, let's nail down this context rot problem again, because it sounds crucial. So when you use custom instructions or these projects, those rules get loaded permanently into the AI's short-term memory. It's RAM, essentially.
Exactly. Imagine you've got, say, 200,000 tokens of RAM available. That's your context window. Now, if your static rules, your company style guide, your tone rules, your constraints, if those take up 150,000 tokens, well, you have almost nothing left for the actual conversation or for analyzing that big document you just uploaded. That's when the AI starts forgetting what you asked 5 minutes ago. It's kind of paralyzed by its own background instructions.
Right. It's like having a computer with a tiny hard drive, and you permanently fill 90% of it with the operating system. Before you even try to open a single app, it just grinds to a halt.
Skills solve this completely. They really are like portable flash drives of knowledge, the skill instructions. They just sit on the sidelines. They consume zero active context until you actually call them.
Okay.
The AI just temporarily plugs in that drive, runs that very specific, limited set of instructions, and then instantly unplugs it when the job's done.
So the AI runs this quick, focused subroutine and immediately clears the space, which means the main conversation thread stays lean, fast, not bogged down by all those specialized rules. Okay, connecting this to the bigger picture, how does this technical advantage change the practical limits, for using AI in large-scale operations?
It means conversations can get incredibly complex, really long, because the AI's short-term memory stays clean, stays ready for new information, and creating custom skills. It's actually remarkably straightforward. This is the fun part. The process is basically create a simple markdown file, write your instructions precisely in there, then you compress it just into a standard.zip file and upload it through that Capabilities tab.
Okay, now here's a critical tip from the source material. And honestly, one I still wrestle with myself sometimes with prompt drift.
Yeah.
The file name, it has to be lowercase. And use dashes, not underscores, like my cool skill.
Yeah.
Apparently, if you use capitals or use underscores, the upload just fails consistently. You could spend an hour debugging a perfectly good markdown file just to find out the file name was the problem.
Yeah, that frustration, definitely real. But now for the good part, the AI cheat code for creating skills. You really shouldn't be writing that markdown structure from scratch, unless you enjoy that sort of thing.
Okay, tell us. How do we skip the boring part?
So you take one of the example skill templates Anthropic gives you, feed it back into Claude, tell Claude, learn this format, learn the syntax. Then you just describe the new skill you want in plain English, like, I need a competitive pricing analyzer skill, and you let the AI format all those structured markdown instructions for you.
Wow. Okay, so we're literally using AI to build the AI tools, kind of bypassing all the tricky formatting steps.
Exactly. So what does this really mean for someone who isn't a programmer but needs these specialized, reliable tools?
It means the AI handles the tedious, complex formatting part, which makes creating these tools accessible to pretty much everyone, right? In just minutes. Okay, before we get too excited about building things, it probably helps to know exactly which tool is right for which job. Let's clarify that complexity spectrum again.
Yeah.
Using the wrong tool, well, it's inefficient. It's like trying to hammer a nail with a screwdriver, right? Messy, doesn't really work well.
Yeah, we need a framework. So, custom instructions. Use those for the universal, always-on principles, like your standard company tone, your company name, maybe a specific greeting it always has to use, the static background rules.
Okay, then the external stuff.
Right. Use MCP servers when you absolutely need that external real-time data access. No question. Need livestock prices, need to update a Salesforce record right now. That's MCP territory.
Got it. And skills.
And you use Claude Skills whenever you have a repeatable workflow or a specialized task you need, but only selectively. They really are the best path for most recurring specialized tasks. Why? Easy to create, super portable, and most importantly, highly context efficient. They live right inside Claude's environment, ready to go when you call them.
Okay, so the strategic implication. When you're deciding on a new automation task, what really points you directly towards using a skill rather than the other two?
Skills are just perfect for those specialized instructions you use often, but really only on demand. It avoids cluttering up that precious context window. Mid-roll sponsor, read, placeholder.
All right, this is where it gets really interesting, I think. Moving from the theory to actual application, let's look at 3 practical skills you listeners could probably start building and using, like today.
Okay, first one. Think about the admin nightmare of building presentations from data. Let's call it the CSV to slides automator. This skill takes raw, maybe messy spreadsheet data and turns it into a consistent, professionally formatted, say, 20-slide board presentation.
And it's not just summarizing data.
Right.
The key is the constraint.
Exactly. The power is in the constraint. The skill makes sure the corporate style guide, the right font, the structure, that specific flow intro, results, future outlook, whatever it is maintained every single time. That saves hours of tedious manual formatting.
Okay, number 2.
Next up, the revenue forecaster. Lots of businesses struggle with AI projections, right? Because LLMs are inherently kind of creative and consistent. This skill tackles that directly.
How does it enforce consistency there?
It forces the AI to use a specific deterministic methodology. You literally include instructions, maybe even reference required Python code, like Meta's profit library, perhaps, right there in the skills instructions. This ensures you get reliable, repeatable projections. It removes the AI's usual creativity from the equation. You want rigor here, not interpretation.
Makes sense. And the third one?
Third, the meeting minutes generator. This one is just pure time saving. You just drag and drop a Zoom transcript, maybe a Teams transcript file, which can be incredibly long and dense.
And the skill does what?
It instantly formats that whole mess into a standardized Word doc structure. We're talking clear sections, action items, who owns them, key decisions made, follow-up topics, a task that usually takes, 30 minutes? Maybe more. Becomes a 30-second automated job.
Wow. Okay, the biggest shift this enables then, sounds like strategy. Progressive disclosure. The old way was dumping that massive 5,000-word prompt up front and just hoping the AI remembered it all. The new way, start lean, start clean.
Exactly. As the conversation goes on, you progressively disclose the specific expertise needed. How? By invoking the right skill. You might start with general brainstorming. Then you say, okay, use the data profit skill to analyze this market data. And maybe later, all right, now use the CSV to slide skill to prep a deck based on that analysis.
That's the efficiency, right? Continuous conversation, but bringing in different specialists sequentially.
And this combination, this is the real power move. Think of it like building a video game character. You use projects, those things that link large files, background documents. Those are the character's base stats. That's the core identity, the fundamental knowledge base.
Okay, some skills are.
And skills are the character's spellbook, the specialized, dynamic tools you pull out only when you need them. It's the difference between having one AI generalist who kind of knows a bit about everything and having a whole team of hyper-focused specialists you can call on instantly.
Right. Need to be clear, though, when not to use a skill.
Good point. Absolutely never for real-time external data stuff that's purely MCP servers, and never for those universal always-on rules. That's what custom instructions are for. Skills are specifically for recurring, complex workflows and tasks where the formatting is non-negotiable.
So, zooming out again, what core strategic shift does this really enable in how we approach large-scale AI automation, maybe in the enterprise?
It fundamentally changes AI building from this monolithic, kind of clunky single application into a modular, flexible design, like stacking Lego blocks of specialized data and instructions, which gives you much greater consistency, much greater scalability.
That feels like the real breakthrough.
Whoa, yeah. Imagine scaling that modular approach, that highly optimized way, to handle like a billion specialized, reliable queries across a huge global organization. The potential is, wow, immense. So to recap, Claude Skills are really that crucial middle ground tool, the thing that was kind of missing. They're easier to manage than those complex MCP servers, way more flexible than rigid custom instructions. And critically, they are massively context efficient.
Yeah, the bottom line for you, the listener, is this. Skills let you build a library of specialized, reusable AI employees, you could say, built specifically for consistency, bulletproof consistency, saving you hours every single week on those repetitive but maybe high-stakes tasks. So think about your AI assistant, not as just one generalist anymore, but as a customized, specialized team where you control the training, you control the deployment. How many of those repetitive, maybe 30-minute tasks could you realistically transform into a 30-second automated skill, maybe just this week?
Yeah, I'd really encourage you, identify just 3 to 5 high-impact, time-consuming tasks just this week, and try using that AI cheat code strategy we talked about. Start building your own focused library. I think you'll see immediate returns on that time investment pretty quickly.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into AI memory management and these specialized workflows. We'll see you next time.